how's it going? My name is Cath Anne and welcome to the first installation of Books and Crannies. This is a new video series that I am trying out where I'm going to be making a variety of different cranberry cocktails and sharing some books with you. I'm hoping to have on some guests. Basically, we're going to be doing two of my favorite things, drinking some healthy drinks and having a little bit of nerdy talk and being geeks together. This week, we're going to be kicking it off with a really cool book that I just read. Something easy, light to start. Well, actually not very light, but it is a cool book and I really want to share it with you guys. So I guess I'll start out with talking about the cocktail I made. This is actually really good and I just kind of made it up. So, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, I'm just saying. So I basically took a whole lime, cut it up, and put the juice in to the cup first, and I find that's kind of the best way to get benefit out of lime juice. That's the trick to my guacamole that I make, and maybe I'll share that recipe with you sometime. But getting the lime juice out first and muddling it with your other ingredients is a really good idea. I also chopped up about I don't know, an inch worth of cucumber, put that in there as well, and chopped up some fresh basil, muddled it all together. And then I just put in some ice and about half a glass of cranberry juice and half a glass of just water. It wasn't even carbonated water. And this is actually really good. I bet you it would be delicious with some cranberry concentrate and some fresh cranberry juice, but we'll try some of that next time. But for now, we're off to a good start, I must say. So I'm really excited about the book that we're going to look at this week, because I actually found this at a thrift store, one of my favorite thrift stores in the city. It's called Frenchie's, and I don't even think they have books there anymore, but this was a recent find before they took the books away. And so it is a book by David Lynch called Catching the Big Fish: Meditation, Consciousness, and Creativity. The subtitle alone caught my eye, but then of course the fact that it's by David Lynch is another thing altogether. For those of you who don't know, David Lynch is a director, painter, artist, creative. He has directed the likes of Blue Velvet, Twin Peaks, which is one of my favorite shows of all time, Mulholland Drive. I don't know if any of you believe in those serendipitous moments where you just stumble upon something or someone that you need at that time. Anyway, this book was one of those moments for me. Let me just have another drink here. So is it weird if I read a little bit out of this? I don't know. Should I? It's pretty easy read, so maybe I will. Okay. Ideas are like fish. If you want to catch little fish, you can stay in the shallow water. But if you want to catch the big fish, you've got to go deeper. Down deep, the fish are more powerful and more pure. They're huge and abstract, and they're very beautiful. I look for a certain kind of fish that is important to me, one that can translate to cinema. But there are all kinds of fish swimming down there. There are fish for business, fish for sports, there are fish for everything. So he goes on throughout the book to kind of explain what he means by this analogy. And basically what I take from it is that he's a big proponent of meditation. And he also uses, he's also a very creative person. So he's basically saying that if you go deeper into meditation and exploration and allow your mind to kind of travel, that's when you're going to catch those big ideas like he did with Twin Peaks. And I just really think he has this way of tying things together that is just so beautiful. So in the next chapter, Lynch goes into his own exploration of meditation, and he just says that he was not even interested in meditation when he first started, and now he is really big into transcendental meditation, which is something I haven't really looked into. It's something you have to pay for to be a part of and a member, to access your own mantra. So I'm not quite sold on that part, because anything you have to pay for, I'm kind of always skeptical about. But Lynch discusses the fact that he hasn't missed a meditation session in 33 years, and how wonderful is that? And obviously his work speaks to that. I just have to show you my little friend over here. Stanley. He's just such a little sweetie. And then, so what was interesting to me to find out about David Lynch, who is known, I would say, primarily for his cinematic work, is that he didn't want to be that kind of an artist. He was a painter, and he went to school for painting, and he says that, and he discusses how he evolved and how his career evolved. And I think that's something that was really kind of key to me, is starting out as a creative person in my 30s, and not really knowing what to do. It's kind of enlightening to see that David Lynch wanted to do something totally different than what he's currently doing and what he's known. And so he talks about his process of painting, and he talks about how he was sitting painting something, and all of a sudden his painting started to move. And funny enough, he says, I wasn't on drugs. And it was just this experience where the paint started to move, and he started to wonder if making film was a way to make paintings move. And basically, he says he took a chance. He entered an experimental painting and sculpture contest, and he built something for the contest, and it was a moving painting. And then, funny enough, he says, I thought it was going to be the extent of my film career, because this thing actually cost a fortune to make. $200. It's just so funny to think that someone like David Lynch, who probably, I'm sure he does still value $200, but he probably doesn't have to worry about money, would blink an eye at $200. And then he says that after that the piece was so successful that someone saw the project and commissioned him to build something for them. And then it just went on from there, and he kept getting green light after green light, and the ball kept rolling, and now he is where he is. And I think what I can kind of take from that is he took a chance and he did something different. And I think we can all kind of relate to that. We get stuck in our own mediums, and we get stuck with what we're doing at that time. And even if we don't feel like we're stuck, maybe we think that that's all we can do, or maybe we think that's what we want to do, so we don't take a chance. And, reading this and reading stories of people who have become successful by taking chances, I find is very inspiring. And another theme that I was really interested in this book is talking about ideas and where ideas come from. And it makes me think of Elizabeth Gilbert's book, Big Magic, because she talks a lot about this idea as well, and how ideas come and go, and how you can make something of an idea, but if you don't, then maybe it'll travel on to someone else. And I just really, I really like this concept of ideas as these entities kind of floating around out there, because it draws on this notion of the universal. That's what I get for trying to be philosophical and say big words. I guess just this idea of universal consciousness and how we all kind of share ideas and energy, and it's something I'm exploring myself, and I think it's quite interesting to think about things in that way. Yeah, I guess that's all I have to say for now, because I really don't know what I'm talking about. Let's let David tell us about ideas. The idea is the whole thing. If you stay true to the idea, it tells you everything you need to know, really. You just keep working to make it look like that idea looked. feel like it felt, sound like it sounded, and be the way it was. And it's weird because when you veer off, you sort of know it. You know when you're doing something that is not correct because it feels incorrect. It says, no, this isn't like the idea it was. And when you're getting into it the correct way, it feels correct. It's an intuition. And I really wanted to find another piece that I wanted to talk to you guys about. He talks about catching ideas, and it's kind of one of the core pieces to this book. I found it. I didn't realize it was closer to the front of the book. Anyway, it's about consciousness, and he goes back to the analogy about fish. He says, little fish swim on the surface, but the big ones swim down below. If you can expand the container you're fishing in, your consciousness, you can catch bigger fish. Here's how it works. Inside every human being is an ocean of pure, vibrant consciousness. When you transcend in transcendental meditation, you dive down into that ocean of pure consciousness. You splash into it and it's bliss. You can vibrate with this bliss. Experiencing pure consciousness enlivens it, expands it. It starts to unfold and grow. And in my own personal journey, this is such a key piece of advice because it reminds me that to be able to access some of those really creative ideas and really delve into my new adventure as a creative person, meditation is what's going to help me expand that consciousness to be able to access those really cool ideas. And it just really makes me excited. So anyway, I couldn't say more good things about this book, and I'm actually going to be sending this off to one of my friends who is also a really big David Lynch fan, but I feel like it's one of those books that is just, his message and his experience and advice are invaluable. He's David Lynch. Like, how much better can you get? How much better creative advice can you get? And it's not just advice for creative people. I think well, first of all, I think everyone has the capacity to be creative. But second of all, he gives just life advice, and I think ideas and consciousness and creativity are all things that we have the ability to access. So I would really encourage folks to find this book. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll look up on Amazon and see if it's available, and then put a link down below so you guys can find it. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this first episode of Books and Crannies. I'm really hoping to establish a regular schedule with this, and hopefully getting some guests to come on and talk to me so it's not just me the whole time yammering at you. I think it might be fun to have some different people read a few different books, and we'll start out with some small books. I have some in mind, so stay tuned for the next episode, and thank you so much for watching. I guess I have to do that YouTube thing. So if you like this video, please subscribe below. I will try to link to this book in the comments below, so take a look for that. And if you like this video, give it a like and a thumbs up. And if you have an idea for a book to read or an idea for our next cocktail, give me a shout in the comments below. Thank you. Oh, and also, I am going to link to my blog, mindfulscrawler.com. You can also follow me on social media, and I'll put all that stuff in the comments below. Cheers!